Hello everybody, it is me, Darcy. It is him, Kris.
Yeah.
God, do I look fucking tired. I am. Yeah, I think I slept for like 3 hours last night.
It's a solid amount.
Yeah.
Really not.
And welcome back to the Unnamed Podcast, the podcast where we sit here for a time, and talk rubbish.
Yeah.
As always, we'll get started with a little bit of channel news. This week on the channel, we dropped a Mario Kart.
Yes.
The first one since the
Halloween special.
The Halloween special, which was actually filmed like a week before it came out. So, like, for us, it has actually been some time. For you guys, it was like 3 days.
True, yes.
But that's not the point. It was actually 2 weeks before it came out.
Yeah, it was.
That's not the point. The point is that the new one has released, and in that new one, we promised that we would be playing the new races that come out this week. But we were planning to do that tonight, but those races come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that puts us in a pickle.
It does. It really does.
We'll play them. We'll fucking figure it out. Fucking, it hasn't stopped us yet.
No.
The second
I haven't
thing
really tried yet, though.
No. The second thing that came out today
I haven't paid attention today.
was the raft that we filmed a while ago.
Oh, yes.
Like a while ago. But it's also the first raft that's come out in a while.
That is true.
Because, apparently there was just a massive point where we didn't put out any rafts. I was like, what? No, it can't be this long since
Wait, you
rafts.
didn't notice that?
I couldn't, because, it's all just a blur to me. It's all just a fucking blur.
Well, fair enough.
It's like, this video...
I noticed that it hadn't happened in a while.
Surely this video came out.
Pretty sure in that time frame it suggested that we play it again.
We probably did.
Yeah.
But, I was sitting there and I was like, because we still have games. We're still finishing the Room 3.
That is true.
We haven't finished that yet. And, to me, when Kris is like, oh, we should probably do this. I'm like, yeah, we should definitely do that. Because it's been, 2 weeks since that video came out, so we should probably finish it. It's like, no, it was, 6 months ago. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to pay more.
Yes.
Because it
I don't even remember where we're up to on the Room 3.
doesn't matter. It's probably best that way.
True.
It is.
I haven't played it.
It is all just a blur for me, pretty much, because it's 90% of the time when I'm actually working. When I'm not working, that's great. But when I am working, 90% of the time, it's I'm editing videos. And
That is true.
It's then I just put the video up, and it's I'm back to editing videos. And it's yeah, I was working on that just the other day. And it's no, just the other day was fucking ages ago. So in terms of stuff that we still definitely want to continue, there's a whole fucking list. It's just that, for me personally, from my point of view, it's the time frame between the last video and now, where we are currently, is always I'm always sitting there it was a week ago. It was a week ago. And if I'm actually serious with myself right now and I think about it, I'm like, holy shit, no, the only thing that has been filmed a week ago was Payday 3.
Yes.
It was indeed Payday 3. That's it. That's the only thing that was filmed a week ago. I'm like, everything else is over a month old.
Yes.
But in my mind, it's no, I swear I was just editing that the other day. I was like, no, it was a while ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. What you should think from now on is when I say we really should do that, just know it's been a while. It's been ages.
Yeah, but I also know that you're hopeless and don't know anything.
I know the last time I played a game when you uploaded them, because we talk about when we upload them.
Anyway, the point is, this new raft's come out. It's classic raft neatness.
Yes.
I am mean to Kris.
Yes.
Kris is useless.
No, I got us to the new place.
Took you a very long time. I did actually mention how long it took you to get us to it.
Don't get me wrong. I've got to really figure out how to
Yeah.
That is a pain to actually know whether you're going in the correct direction.
Oh, I was editing it, and it was honestly I would say some of our best rafting.
Okay.
Because I don't know what was going on, but I was it was just hilariously funny. Some of the things, like at one point we're talking about goop, and now it's my goop, and then you say something, and then we just go like, I'm like, no, you're not allowed to say that, Kris. You're not allowed to say that. This is my goop or something. And it's just shit like that. I was just want to point, if you have looked at the video and seen its title, there is a point that is a direct reference to. And it's pretty early on, but it is one of my favorite things.
What's the title?
If you're watching this, you've seen it because it's on the channel.
It is.
I have. In fact, it's the video right before this one. So no, but like no, it's just a direct reference to something in the video. Also, one of the only videos to date where I've tried something new, because there was some points where I was like, oh, I want to see this from both of our angles. So you do actually get both of our angles in some of it.
Okay.
Specifically, it's when I do a fuck up and when Kris does a fuck up. Like, there's only two, because I didn't want to like have the whole thing running in parallel, but there's just 2 points where each of us fucks up. The other person's view is more relevant, but I wanted to show what the other person was seeing while they got attacked. Pretty much, we fuck up, we get attacked by the shark, but the other person is like just watching it happen.
Is it me?
Well, one of them is you getting attacked by the shark, and I'm like literally in the water being like, how the fuck did you fuck that up? And the other one is me falling through a hole in the raft.
Oh, yeah.
And being like, oh no, I've fallen into the water. Oh no, he's attacked me. And then you just kind of standing there watching me jump out of this hole.
We do that.
But yeah, no, it was a very...
I think there's been many times when you've been in the water and I'm just sort of back watching it happen. We have a habit of that.
There's also a point in this where it's just, I think it's probably me in finest form of, if you really love when I just give Kris a hard time for no reason, or just start shouting at him or accusing him of things, this video is brilliant, because there is so little actually that we're trying to do, because most of the time it's just us traveling on the raft, that there is a lot of time for me to nitpick every little thing Kris has done. And pretty much every comment he makes is followed by some reaction from me, whether it's just yelling at him.
I don't remember it.
Literally, there are points in the video where I have rocks in my hand and I just walk up and throw rocks at his head.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Multiple times in the video that happens, because he says something that I'm just like, no, you deserve a rock to the head. There's also several points where I try and murder him with my spear. And then there's actually one point where I give you my spear and then scream at you because you've stolen my spear.
Yes, I do remember that.
So anyway, there's that. That's happening. There's also a point in Kris where Kris asks for the video to be played back, and I tell him not to do that because he's an idiot and he's going to make a mistake. And it turns out I was right, he was wrong.
What was it?
Yeah, you told me you said something to me, and I went, no, you didn't. You went, yeah, we'll play back the video. And I went, no, you don't want to do that because it's going to prove that you were wrong.
That's fine.
And so I went back and I just went, yeah, no, he didn't say anything about it.
I don't remember. Clearly at the same point, I didn't remember.
Like, he didn't say anything. And then there's just the point of me.
Maybe I just thought it.
There's another point.
I don't know about you, but I tend to have that situation all the time where I just think something, think I've said it, but I never did.
No.
No, you don't?
There's times where I'm like...
You'll say something. And
I'm thinking something, I'll start saying something, and then I'll just stop, and everyone's like, wait, what are you talking about? I'm like, the thought is gone now.
I think mine's a lot. It's either say it and... Like, be thinking it and don't say it, or say something but have no recollection of ever saying it.
Yeah.
2 seconds after I've said it. It's the best.
So then the other thing that pretty much rounds out this whole episode of The Raft is I pretty much just stand there so much of the time just being like, you're dumb. Kris is so dumb.
Look, the navigation was annoying. I changed direction. I'm like, yeah, we're going in the correct direction.
Actually, 90% of the time, it has nothing to do with your directions. It's I've said something to you, and then you've responded. I'm just like, you're dumb. You're just dumb.
Yeah,
and it's just like such an upset reaction from me.
I know. There is a lot of there is still some talk of the navigation. It's You try.
Pretty much whenever the navigation comes up, I just keep saying to you, "You've got one job."
Yes, you do.
So yeah, that's a very I did enjoy editing that video. It's quite other than the fact that Kris fucked up his recording and did not put any game audio.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Which means it's all just my game audio. You barely notice unless you're paying attention. But it was I think me in some of my finest form in terms of just being done with Kris. just like a lot.
Pretty sure that was our last video for the night as well.
A lot of videos like you watch, you see me getting to the point I'm just like, Kris. But this one is just the beginning. It's from the beginning, and that's about it.
I think that was like our third recording for the night when we did it, wasn't it?
Possible. I can't even.
So it makes sense. It really does.
Yeah. In other news about the raft, last week I kind of talked about some Patreon stuff I wanted to try doing. The raft is the first video that will actually be done like this. Okay. So I say will be done like this. It's already been done. I've already got both only Kris's perspective and only my perspective. They are done. They are out. They have the same game audio. But yeah, I'm going to look at putting them up on the Patreon. So if you don't want to see the swapping between, if you just want to see what Kris is doing, why he's getting called dumb, or you just want to see what I'm doing while Kris is being called dumb,
yep,
you can hopefully find that on Patreon in the next couple of days. I will be putting it there as I haven't set up anything yet, so it'll be on the channel. It'll be on the channel. I'll put up a little post or something on the channel. The first up post where there isn't actually a video attached to it, it'll just be something like, hey, look, the Patreon's here, and you can see Kris's view of the raft and my view of the raft. And there are no names in these ones because you only see one person's view. So it'll be like, the video will be labeled Raft, Kris is dumb. And then Raft, Darcy, doing vegetable stuff.
So like just sitting there doing nothing, or
no, literally just planting vegetables. Literally just planting.
Oh, there was two options with what you said there. I had to clarify.
There's also one point in the raft where I say something in. No, what do I say? Oh yeah, I think I say, whose house do you think this is? And you go, ours. And then I just stop. Like, do you want to correct yourself?
Nope.
Pretty much. No, so do if you want to see, probably it's one of those things I really like about the raft. And there's another game I want to start playing with Kris that I think is going to have a very similar vibe. 7 Days to Die.
Yes.
Because in these games where there's a lot of just downtime, where it's like stuff isn't happening all the time, you do get probably the most realistic view of what it is like to play games with us.
It's true.
And what we are like when we are playing games, specifically together, but yeah, with a lot of people, and yeah, pretty much it's like it's one of those funny things I've always found about myself with games, is that I'm either really controlling, let's do this right,
yes,
or the exact opposite, where
you're the one fucking around.
I am the reason nothing is happening.
Well, see, and that's the weird thing. When I play like these sorts of games with you, like including Satisfactory, I tend to definitely Satisfactory, I'm partially that, because I do get some stuff done. There's a lot
I would actually say in Satisfactory our roles are reversed from Raft. You're the one who goes around building, and I
actually.
Well, sort of like the Raft, I am the most dangerous thing around.
Yes, that is very true. But
fun fact about our Satisfactory game, I've built nuclear weapons.
Yeah. But in Conan, for example,
oh yeah,
I just all of a sudden I go out and just explore and kill a lot of stuff.
To be fair, I think that actually comes with the fact that Conan has a lot more architectural design in it, so I just stay back and build bases, like, because that's what I like doing. But and it's kind of like the same with the raft. It's like doing the boring, making sure we have wood and plants and everything.
Yes.
It reminds me of something else I say in the raft. There is just one line where Kris goes, "Where's the plank chest?" And I'm like, "Well, technically, I think that's me, but we don't like to be called that."
Okay.
Because it's like I think you're looking for planks, and I'm like, yeah, I've got like 80 on me.
Okay, fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
no, it's like
and then like 20 minutes later, you're like, "Where's this wood chest you were talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, technically, I think it's me."
No, it's because like in Kona, it'll be a situation of, "Hey, can you grab this for me?" It's like, so I'll grab it on the way back. But
I do send you out to get things,
because
unless what I need is very specific, and in which case I go out with you.
That is true.
But like, yeah,
because
in that situation,
in that I'm the hunter. I go and hunt everything.
Like it's funny because it kind of depends on the game, but like there's a lot of games where it's like I fall into the default of builder because that's what I like to do, and the person making sure that we survive. Whereas in other games, Satisfactory, for example, where it's all about automation stuff, and I'm like, so yeah, because Satisfactory is automated, I don't think there is a if we ever do Satisfactory, you won't see the world that we're currently in. You'll see a new world, but 90% of the world we're in is Kris's job. That's stuff that he has done.
You've done the nuclear power.
Yeah, but that's a whole other thing.
I mean, I have definitely helped with it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've definitely done parts of it.
There are points where you look at something and you'll go, okay, this is the truth. The truth is pretty much this: in Satisfactory, which is a very different game to nearly every other game, I kind of just walk off to go find stuff because I really enjoy that, and I've taken the role of science officer, so I need to go and find new stuff and make things.
That is true. Yes.
And so a lot of the stuff that you see is found by me, and then I tell Kris, and then Kris brings the stuff and the resources and everything. Except there is one thing that I have pretty much done solo, and that is all of our transportation.
Yes, you have done that.
Cars, I built them. Trucks, I built them. The 3 trains we have running, Darcy did that.
Yeah. And generally that's because while you go on, I'm going to go do this, and I'm like, I've got shit to do.
Yeah, and but then you've got resource things. So we have this massive in Satisfactory. We have this massive oil pipeline. That was all Kris because he did that. Whereas when we built the nuclear plant, we needed water, so I built an entire train system to pump water, to pretty much run water 90 to it, and that's its only job. Then you've got the power system, which is mostly Kris's because he's the one who's been dealing with that while I've been off doing stuff.
Yeah.
But as we get further and further into the game, that's when I come in and I start changing things. So Kris built pretty much all of what we have, but then I now come in and go, okay, well, and Kris is because we're now moving stuff around for what at the time, this was 2 updates ago, was late game gear. So it could now be different.
Yes.
But we need more advanced stuff. So for more advanced stuff, we need better planning, and that's kind of where I've come in and started to change things up and neaten up our processes a bit.
You raise everything up, separate.
Pretty much make it so that because when Kris does it, no shit on Kris. He's in our Satisfactory world. He's done a fucking good job, but it is messy.
Oh yeah,
it's very messy and it's very hard to navigate.
It definitely could have been messier because I have definitely narrowed it down a bit. Is probably the better way I can think of, and I've just made it look a bit nicer. And because there was areas where it was just hard to get around, so there's
points where I've hidden a lot of the moving parts of our building so that we can still travel around it. And where the actual moving parts are, it's not neat. By no means is it perfectly fucking what you'd expect to see in a real world factory with OH&S things.
You go underneath and it's what happened here?
But it works, and I am actually neatening even downstairs up. It's just that sometimes I have to let something run because we need the resources, so I can't really be like, okay, well, I'm shutting down this whole thing so that I can fix this up. So a lot of the time it's like I end up doing like building a secondary line next to it and then swapping it.
And the other issue with the game is as you get further into it, you need the same resource more and more, so it needs to be split off more and more.
But it is a very fun game. If you've ever looked at it and gone like, oh, I want a game where it's kind of like the challenge isn't so much building everything, because that's not the challenge of Satisfactory. The challenge is actually, I think it's more resource management.
It is.
And coming up with clever ideas. So like,
we'll shut this down so this can hurry up. And
we originally had like, because we have this giant power plant pretty much that Kris has built, but that's also where we get a lot of our like plastic and rubber from.
Yeah.
And originally Kris just had it running on a conveyor belt back. Yes. And then I pretty much spent a bunch of time building this super fast train system so that we could get even more stuff back. And now we've pretty much got this loop that just runs and produces stuff. Yep. Every now and then it gets bogged down or our power goes out and we run into issues. But I think the fun part of Satisfactory is solving those issues when they come up and building in solutions so that if they ever happen again, because for us, one of the big ones is our power. If we lose one power generator, we lose pretty much all production.
Well, actually now, because of where we're at, if we lose one coal generator, we don't actually have a problem. It's now if the power goes out, what we actually immediately look at, we go, because I've spent so much time on the coal generators, they work. They're at a point where we don't even need to focus on them anymore. They're fine. Now we're at a point of it's the nuclear power.
Problem is the nuclear do provide 90% of our power.
Now it does, yes.
And we use a lot of power. The other problem with that is that for a very long time, we just built a nuclear power plant and didn't realize what we were doing. And then when we had a problem and we went to fix it, it turned out it was so irradiated over there, it was a death sentence.
Oh, we couldn't get like 2 kilometers without getting irradiated.
Yes.
Like, it was...
Now you only get irradiated when my plane flies by.
Yeah, you'll just be standing there doing your own thing, and you go, "What? Where did this radiation go? Oh, it's gone." But where did it? Oh, that's right.
But yeah, so
they're definitely not a nuclear waste storage area.
But it's very funny for me because like Kris has done 90% of the grunt work. And I actually, like, if you've ever seen us play games, normally it's him asking me questions about where stuff is, but in this it's all me asking him and being like, do we have this resource? Because I just take in this game. But like where we are now, a lot of it is a combination of Kris's work plus my own. Yeah. And it's like the neatening process is where I'm really excelling at. And as I said, I love Satisfactory because of the creative solutions. Like, I'll be off doing something, and then all of a sudden something's up and running. Kris like, wait, how did this start running? And it's like, oh yeah, that's what I've been working on for the past hour. Whereas, and it's like you won't even know what the other person's doing.
Oh yeah.
Unless I like show up at base with like 17 lizard doggos, because that's the other thing I'm out there doing. Collecting my lizard doggos.
But at the moment,
and then occasionally they give me nuclear materials, and I'm like, oh great, I'm being irradiated.
They do that.
And for the longest time, I just stored that under where I did all my work.
Then we had the big issue with the nuclear power plants and the waste that was there, and realised, we can't leave it there. This is a bad idea.
Oh man,
but like so where we're at the moment is you're tidying everything up,
pretty much,
and I'm going through building a particle accelerator or trying to get it to actually make the stuff we need.
Kris is off doing like the next building thing, and I am literally tidying everything up and making trying to make it so that our solutions are better than, because like for the longest time it'd be like a lot of the time it was like, oh, we've got to change this, we've got to change this, we've got to change this. And I said, it's not me shitting on Kris, because like the fact that we were there was a great thing, but it was just like, oh, we need this and we need this, and it was like he was building for the problem we had at the time.
Yes.
Whereas now we're past that and we're at the point where it's like we're upgrading everything. We want better, faster things. So instead of like solving problems that we have as they arise, we're trying to build so that we don't have problems. It's kind of like future proofing.
It
and
becomes
it's incredibly fun to do because the whole thing is you don't know what the future proofing is actually going to, if it is actually going to make it future proof.
Well, the thing is because of the stuff we've got around us, we're at a point where it's, if we're lacking on something, we need to get resources from somewhere else, and in most cases it's something like 2-3 kilometers away, so we've got to then get it back.
And then you kind of like, and that's like awesome for me because that's kind of where I've started to really excel, is that long range moving of stuff, where it's like, for Kris, if he needs to move something, his first option is just massive long conveyor belts. But I don't like that because, one, it leaves massive long conveyor belts everywhere. Two, the conveyor belts are pretty fast, but I like to just move something, drop it off, move something, drop it off, move, and like just have that kind of thing. So like we have a lot of it is quite a fun game. Yes. It's all, and as I said, it seems it's kind of like Factoria, I think it's the game is called. I can't remember what the game's called. Right. But like it's not about you actually doing the crafting. It's about you setting the systems in place, and then like it's kind of like the ultimate game of planning. It's like, oh shit, because like even when we're playing now, we'll run into one thing where it's like, oh shit, we didn't plan for this.
Yep.
And like
it's like when we needed to move the sky elevator because it was in the worst spot. But initially, when we put it down, it was the best possible spot we could put it in.
Well, my thought was the silica dust that we used to make aluminium, and that has been like my longest running headache because,
and it still is like.
Well, I've actually got it now where it doesn't clog up as much.
It still clogs up occasionally.
It still clogs up occasionally, but nowhere near as much. And it's the same with the aluminium ore because that used to clog up all the time.
It's one
and you would be sitting there and you'd be going like, okay, we need aluminium. We've got all this ore. And just like there would be one clog up that meant that nothing was moving, and then you wouldn't realize because it's all automated. And until all of a sudden you have nothing.
Unfortunately, it is ages away from us.
Yeah.
So there's no, and I have put a. The tube.
Yeah, the hypertube.
I've used that's the only transport thing I've done really is making the hypertube.
True.
Except for when you're going uphill. They're not good.
No.
If you're going uphill, they're useless. If you're going downhill, oh god, they're good.
Well, technically, you also have been helping with the jump pack.
Oh yeah, that's
true. Technically, if we're using it to explore, it's probably been me because I go out with my jetpack and set up the power cable so that we can just hover through the wilderness.
Yes. So if one of us dies out there, it's like we have spare ones.
Oh yeah,
at base.
Like I've done that because like there was a point where I would make something and be like, oh Kris, you got a brand new toy to play with, and Kris would grab it and be like, yeah, and then he'd die, and I'd be like. Right. So now, like in my like lab, there's just a chest that has spare equipment so that you can go and get your stuff.
Well, I mean, you've had to use it as well.
I have.
It's one of those things. Some of those areas are dangerous.
Mine is generally less to do with the area and more to do with the fact that I've unwittingly stumbled into high levels of nuclear.
Oh yeah.
So we had this really big issue that like was probably about 4 hours of our life.
Would have been
to kind of wrap up the whole satisfactory talk, and a reason why we do want to put it on the channel. But for 4 hours, we didn't realize that we'd stopped making a prime piece for nuclear reactors that they needed, and then they went dead, and we could not manufacture it because it was advanced manufacturing. You actually need the parts, but you also needed to go to the nuclear reactors, and this was when they were super irradiated. And so we had to spend about 4 hours of our life solving this issue that we created
and,
for ourselves.
Turning everything else off to be able to get just enough power to go through.
Yep, and it was like, and like, so Kris is like building the parts we need so that we can get the reactors up and running. Then we need to get there and get the part that makes the parts to make the actual fuel for the reactors up and running. And the whole time he's doing that, I'm just like mass producing like fucking filters so that we can breathe in the radiation. And we get there, and I had done a little bit of testing in the area, And I was like, okay, we each have 100 filters. This will give us about 20 minutes in this zone.
But it was one of those things
And,
that if you were at the edge of the zone, you'd have
ages.
You'd have ages. You'd have plenty of time. The moment you got close to where that waste was, it dropped from like 2 hours to the 20 minutes.
The time that I spent cleaning it up, and I did spend so much time cleaning it up, I think I burnt through probably 400 filters.
Sounds right.
Because
It's
I
a
had
lot.
to. There was a point where I literally had to move all of the nuclear radiated waste by hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Satisfactory. We do want to put that on the channel. It's a very interesting game. It'll probably be the only game, like survival building game, where me and Kris truly do swap roles.
Yeah.
And I take on the more adventurous explorer, solving problems. Like, we even have shorthand for Satisfactory. Classic number 9.
Yeah.
Which means I've built a tower so that I can climb something.
Whereas I started saying that to Simon and Slade when we played it for a little bit. Just use the classic number 9. He's like, what's the classic number? Oh, that's right.
Just
It's
something
classic
that,
to us.
just something that I had built into, just quickly on my tab, so it'd be tab built, tab built, tab built. And you would just be walking around in our world and you would just see a tower built. You're like, oh, Darcy must have wanted to get up there.
Classic number 9. Oh yeah, no, it's good fun. Good fun.
But yeah, no, Satisfactory is great. It's probably the only game where you see Kris go into homemaker mode and me into explorer mode. Usually it's the other way around. Games like Conan, literally I can't go exploring without Kris because I put all of my skills into the building stuff and Kris puts all of his stuff into the fighting stuff.
So fighting and being able to carry some stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still, I still can't carry a lot because there's points where I've been just on the other side of the village or tribe that's on the other side of the river to where we are. And Darcy will be like, hey, have you got that piece I asked for yet? It's like, yeah, no, I've got it. I'll be back in about half hour.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So, I am well and truly over encumbered. I'm moving so slow.
Yeah.
And I'm not near water. So and plus I need to get through this village. So I need to fight everything in there.
Yeah. But that's, it's
Both of them are fun. They're both fun.
very, pretty much and I feel the same for 7 Days to Die. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good. I will say that. Like, it looks like the assets they used, but it does have a pretty I think its systems are pretty cool, and like the whole concept of it is very cool, and like the whole thing of you pretty much got a week to prepare for a really bad day. Then you get another week to prepare for a really bad day.
I have seen,
and it's like you can spend 7 days. It's something I kind of want to wait until we've got a few more players lined up and just be like, hey guys.
That's fair. I think Nick will play it.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those games where it's like, with the two of us, I don't think we could actually do enough in the time frame to build.
That's fair.
To do more than just survive the night.
Yeah.
And then the next one it'd be the same thing, so it'd be just getting to a point where you can survive instead of being able to get a little bit more powerful each week.
Yeah. And
that's kind of the ultimate goal. And the other thing is that with that system, it would be you going out by yourself, me staying back and building. You going out by yourself, me staying back and building. And whereas I would prefer to have it a few more people, so it's 2 of us are back building and 2 of us are out exploring.
Yeah. And
also because of the way the game works, and it's actually the actual threats you face are dangerous.
Yes.
It's if you go out by yourself, it can be suicide, and then you've got to go and collect all your stuff, which means, I think it'd be a very fun game, but I do think that we need a few more players. People we can call upon and be like, hey, we're going to do some filming in this. Do you mind setting aside an hour of your time?
Yeah.
Something like that. Or, the ultimate goal of having more employees working for me, just being like, we're doing this, bitches.
We're doing this. You have no choice. Sit down.
Because I am the boss. And the boss says this.
Yes.
But yeah, so that raft is very good. Discord, I'll let you know when that's, but there is planning stuff. Not Discord, Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon, we actually have some content to go there now.
Yeah.
We have some ideas of what we want to do there, so that's interesting. Discord, as I said, Discord is going to be the easiest thing. It's just that I've been incredibly lazy with it.
Yes. Not that I can talk, but yes.
And then the other and last kind of thing, channel news-wise, is we have officially popped up to 31 subscribers.
Nice.
Which means that I've bought myself another 2 years.
Oh, nice.
So, in the span of a week, we went up. I bought myself another whole year.
You did. You really did. Hopefully.
Unfortunately, I'm currently working under a theory.
Okay.
Yep. I am immortal, which means I will never die, which means I'm going to constantly need more subscribers. And the reason that I believe this theory is because I'm yet to die, so for all intents and purposes, I am immortal. And
I'm not saying you are, but
the only way I can be proven wrong is to die, but then I would be dead, so you wouldn't be able to prove anything to me.
No.
So I think the truth is that I am immortal until proven otherwise.
I don't like this theory. I don't like it.
No,
I still can't prove him wrong.
It's a good theory.
Sorry,
because
I can prove him wrong, but he'll never know.
Exactly. So
and that's the worst part about it. Is he'll never know.
It's what I said this to someone, I can't remember who, but I pretty much explained this entire preset to them as to why believing you're immortal isn't a crazy idea.
It's true.
And they were like, wait, no, but you know you're going to die. I'm like, no. I know everyone else that I've known who's died has died.
True.
I'm like, but I'm still alive.
That is true.
And that means that as far as all the evidence points to, I am actually immortal because I haven't died.
I mean, I see your reasoning, but I still don't agree.
Well, in an evidence-based system, the evidence points to the fact that I am immortal.
But I think for the evidence to actually you'd have to take into consideration as well, is the average age most people die.
Yeah, okay.
So
Granted,
I reckon you can't fully say that until you've actually made it past that point.
Granted, there is like things like that, and people, the other thing people say is like, oh yeah, but you've got hurt pretty bad. It's like, but
being hurt's not dying.
Oh, but I didn't die.
No,
I said I'm immortal, not invulnerable.
Yes. So I can agree to that.
Exactly.
And sickness and illness, same thing.
Yeah.
As long as you don't die.
As long as you don't die, it actually strengthens the stance that you are immortal.
It does. But, like I said, I think you've got to at least wait until that average death rate.
What if I looked up the country with the lowest average life expectancy and was already past that?
I could probably accept that.
You could probably accept that. Okay, I'm going to spend about 30 seconds doing that. Chris is going to wrap the camera. I'm going to quickly grab myself another Coke Zero. And we are back. Just like I promised.
Oh, yes.
What were we talking about before I left? Something. Discord
was there.
Discord.
We got the extra subscriber.
The extra subscriber. Oh, I'm immortal.
Yeah, that's where we ended. Yes.
Did look up that lowest life expectancy, 55. So, a couple more years.
Still got a little while.
Okay, yeah, like almost another half of my life.
Yes.
But once we get there, immortality.
I'll accept it when we get there.
When we get there, Kris is gonna be like, okay, well, I guess you're immortal then.
I was going to say something that I was going to say it'd be funny if, but it's probably not going to be funny.
Gotta be funny if we both died tomorrow.
No, just the day after.
Oh, yeah, right.
We both make it to 55? Yeah, day after. Dead. Oh.
But you know what would be funnier from my perspective?
Yes.
If we were in a car crash together and you died and I survived, because I'm looking at you like, I told you I'm immortal. Anyhow. Yeah, so that kind of wraps up all of that stuff. Yeah. That was a very long chat, mainly because we went into other things that weren't channel news. But that's fine, because that's what we do here.
Yes.
But getting on to some actual news that I find very funny.
Oh, yes.
Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
You heard the clusterfuck that is?
Nope.
Oh, pretty much stuff like it's been rated. Like, I don't think it's out yet.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like early access to like the campaign and stuff has like given people like ratings of like 4 out of 10 on it and stuff like that.
Oh.
And like apparently it's got like a 4-hour long campaign. I was like, oh, that was the only reason I would even consider buying it. And like,
I guess it's a no now.
Everyone is saying how lazy and like just phoned in it seems. And like as I said, it's kind of expected. I do expect this from this game because it wasn't supposed to be a full game. Activision did this to themselves.
They did.
But yeah, so the fact that they are still advertising is like, hey, we got 16 maps and these are maps that you love from the past is like, yeah, because you are trying to sell something that by all means sounds like hot garbage. Yeah, no, it's not good. Especially considering like, so the first 3 Modern Warfares, like the originals, I think they had something like an average critic score of 9 out of 10. Like when you average across all 3 games.
Yeah.
Because the first one obviously had a super high one, the last one like had a lower one, but they were all really good. The newer trilogy, currently as it stands at the moment, has like an 8.4, which I think is harsh for the first game. I think the first game is probably the best of the Modern Warfare series, full stop, but that's for my own reasons. Personally, I feel it's a little bit more realistic, and I just like the story a little bit more.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think, had like a 7 out of 10, which again, you know, do I think that's a bit harsh? Not really, because that was, they really started really, well, I say started, they were really pushing Warzone 2.0 for that game.
Of course.
They didn't really care about the campaign. They were pushing Warzone heavily, and Warzone's a piece of trash. Especially DMZ. DMZ is just a fucking clusterfuck.
Honestly, at this point where DMZ is, I honestly reckon Warzone's better.
It probably is, because at least Warzone, you know what you're getting into.
You know exactly what you're getting into, and it's that is what you get in there to play.
You know what? I am going to take it back what I said.
And look,
I've played Warzone with a full squad of 4, and we had a hoot.
Yes.
But I think Call of Duty's selling point should be its multiplayer, not Warzone. Warzone is free. Just separate it from the fucking game.
Yes.
Just do it. Just go like, okay, Warzone's now its own thing. Call of Duty Warzone, you could call it.
Oh,
and it could be its own thing, not connected to the mainline story games. And then you could just have a team 100% of the time working on it, adding new things from the new games, and not...
Yeah.
And then if people want to play the multiplayer of the new games and the single player, then they buy the new games. But if they just want to play Warzone, well, then they're just playing fucking Warzone.
It's pretty simple.
Make it its own thing. But yeah, I'm really over the fact that Call of Duty is spending so much of its time developing Warzone. Fucking, it's the worst part of the game. Which is odd to say about a Call of Duty game because their campaigns are usually shit. But Modern Warfare's campaigns have been okay. Generally pretty good. Even Modern Warfare 2 had some really good, the new one, had some really good missions in there. Like, I really liked the, I can't even remember what the mission's called, but it's pretty much Soap Alone, where you're just like sneaking around and, you know, pretty much trying to make it through with no resources.
Is that when I threw the knife and lost it?
I think so. And then, you know, other missions that were really big standouts for me in Modern Warfare 2 were... actually, I can't even remember the name of it now. But there were some fun games with pretty good set pieces in them. And that's the thing with a campaign for Call of Duty. It needs good set pieces. Fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 original had some great set pieces, and it was the weakest in the series.
And like compared to everything else, fantastic game.
Oh, absolutely! Like I like the some of the fucking taking of Paris, where you're like fucking up on the beaches with the Abrams tanks running through buildings. Empire State Building. Eiffel Tower falls down at the end of it. I'm like, that's fucking brilliant.
And another thing I really liked about those was
how good is that as a kind of, because it is what that is a callback to Call of Duty's origin as a World War II shooter. You're literally storming the beaches of Normandy in a modern setting.
Yes.
So that was a really good set piece.
Yeah. I did very much enjoy
the new one. Apparently,
the special ops stuff in it. As much as this one kinda has some stuff in it, it's barely anything.
Yeah, it's mainly.
Whereas there was a large variety of heaps of different other missions, where you had to use stealth.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, they were great.
This new one, this current one, from what I've read now, all of my sources on this are secondary sources. I have not played any of it myself. If what these secondary sources are anywhere near true, and the amount of people that are saying it sounds true. This game doesn't even have set pieces. It's literally like a lot of the campaign just seems to be walking around a Warzone map.
Jeez.
Or parts of Warzone maps. And it's like, oh, great. So we're literally, just do the campaign in Warzone now. Fuck it. It's like, oh, you fucking joking. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, make Warzone its own thing. Like, literally separate it out from the game. So it's like, oh, you want to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? You buy Modern Warfare 3. You want to play Warzone? Download the fucking 300 gigs that is. Oh, also, apparently, it's 250 gig.
Oh,
the new game. Why? I can only assume because Warzone maps.
Probably. That's ridiculous.
And yeah, so I'm just kind of like,
especially for a 4 out of 10 game.
It sounds really bad. But you know, and like, I really enjoy the Modern Warfare games. I'm not gonna lie about it. Probably my favorite Call of Duty of all time is Modern Warfare 1 New, like the one that came out in 2018, because that game is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
I never multiplayer, brilliant.
I never played the new first one. I've only
but the campaign was very. I think giving it an 8.4 out of 10 is a disservice. I'd at least give it a 9. Its multiplayer was some of the best fast-paced multiplayer ever. Okay. Like I think as far as for that type of multiplayer, it was at its peak. Yeah. There were very few times, and like this is like the classic Call of Duty fuck up. There were very few times, especially in what the mode I play. I only play hardcore. That's just what I do because I don't fucking like the fact that you can pop a dude in the back of the head with a handgun and he can turn around and be like, machine gun, and you die, even though you literally just executed him with a Desert Eagle. I hate that. So I only play hardcore where things are at least a little bit realistic. And like, there's very few points in the original Modern Warfare 2018, where, for some reason I keep thinking 2016.
I couldn't tell you, but yes.
Fairly sure it's 2018. But there are very few points in that where you're just like, oh, fuck, that was a cheap death. Oh, that was a cheap death. Oh, that was a cheap death. A lot of the time you're like, fuck, I almost had that motherfucker. Or you go like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have run around that corner. Like, a lot of the time, if you were being honest with yourself, you were saying, no, I did the fuck up there.
Oh, yeah.
Not, this motherfucker just had a rocket launcher and was just walking around blasting everything around corners. That did happen, but like, less often than you would think. And, you know, and then I really enjoyed the multiplayer in Modern Warfare 2 as well. It's probably not as good as the one in Modern Warfare 1, but it's passable.
Yeah.
It's very passable, which is what I like about it. It's not, you know. But again, as Call of Duty moves on and on, we see less attention being put into the campaign and the multiplayer, which is where Call of Duty has always lived.
It is.
And we see more and more effort being put into Warzone, and a lot of it isn't worth it. Like, a lot of it isn't worth it. Oh, we're getting a new Warzone map. Fucking lardy fucking dark.
Actually, there's something we should do. We should get onto the original Modern Warfare 3 and do some of the special ops missions.
Maybe.
I think that would be interesting.
But yeah, so like, honestly, the reports I've heard about this are bad, and they're not. They don't seem to be getting any better.
Okay.
Which, as I said, is it a surprise? No, because this was supposed to be DLC, not a whole other game. Why the fuck did they push it to a whole other game? Because Activision is stupid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't know.
What?
When does it come out? 10th of November. So literally it comes out in 2 days. 2 days. So I don't think it's going to get any better.
Probably.
I was going to say, maybe if this is like an early access kind of play thing, and there's still like maybe a month or two.
I mean, yeah, I doubt they would have changed it for everyone they would have given it to. They were just going to give it at this point and then kept working. No, so that it might get a little better, but I don't
like my thought was like maybe if it was like a beta access, like not like you bought the game pre-order so you get it a week early. But like that seems to be the early access everyone's been playing. But if I was thinking maybe if it was like a beta campaign, like, hey, here's the campaign, tell us what you think. We know we're rushing this one, so we'd really like the feedback. And they still had maybe a month or two to fucking try and take this criticism on board and fix it. We might see a passable, but 4 out of 10, it's coming out in 2 days. It's maybe this is the fucking thing that kills Call of Duty, which would piss off Microsoft considering they've just fucking bought Activision for $70 billion.
That is, yeah. Hopefully that does.
I don't think that acquisition is why people are saying this game is a 4 out of 10. No. I know there are probably some PlayStation fanboys out there who would love to shit all over Activision's new game to hurt Microsoft, but the 4 out of 10 isn't going to hurt Microsoft.
No.
We've seen their hands-off approach to making games at the moment.
That is true.
They kind of just let you go ahead and do what you want to do. But no, I just think this is like, for a game that should have been a slam dunk, if given correct amount of time, and
you should have had another 6 months.
Like I understand money is what Activision care about, not the fidelity of their games.
True. But
what sold the original Modern Warfares and what made the new ones bring back massive crowds, because remember, people fall off Call of Duty. Other than like the people that just only play the multiplayer, like there's a lot of people who go like, yeah, I'm done with Call of Duty, and then they just won't buy another one. They'll go back and play their old favorites.
Yeah. They might come back for the occasional one here and there, but
a lot of those people came back for the Modern Warfare name because they're like, oh, the story in the original Modern Warfare was great.
Oh yeah.
And then they got the first one and went, oh, this is pretty good. They got the second one, they went, it's still pretty good. We're dipping a bit. We're spending too much time on Warzone. We're dipping a bit, but it's still pretty good. And now we've got one where it's just like, yeah, we're finishing off the trilogy by shitting in your hands.
Yep.
Literally, fucking let me pull down my pants and crap in your hands.
Honestly, let's wait for the first massive sale, because I'm assuming the first sale will be a huge discount.
Hopefully. But as I said, like I think what would be best for Call of Duty moving forward from this point is to split Warzone off. They're never going to get rid of it because it is a money printing machine, but make it free to play, but its own thing. And then you can tinker and toy with it as much as you want, because you can put a fucking whole team and be like, oh, the Call of Duty Warzone team. Your job is to keep this live service up and running indefinitely. Add new things, tweak balances and stuff, and that way, like, the balances don't affect the fucking game.
That'd be nice.
The new mainline game, which you could then go like, okay, well, this team's working on the mainline game. Instead of them spending their time working on the campaign, working on the multiplayer, working on the Warzone, they could literally just work on the two parts of the game that make it a game, and you could leave this Warzone team over there doing Warzone shit. And then the Warzone team could be like, hey, can we get some of the assets from your game to add to Warzone so that it kind of has that connection to the new game? And they could say, yes, here you go, here's some skins, here's some weapons, and they go, cool, we're adding them to Warzone. And then they add them to Warzone. Like, that seems to be the way that makes the most sense. But no, instead we get a new game out and it's like, yeah, Warzone. It's like, no. How has Warzone changed since it first appeared? It hasn't. Even 2.0 really didn't change anything. Just fucking ruin Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That is true. Well, this campaign wasn't bad.
Would have been better if they'd spent more time on it.
Well,
less time
true.
on Warzone. You know what else would have been better if they'd spent more time on it and less time on Warzone? The multiplayer, where occasionally the opposite team spawn in with your team's skins on.
Oh, shit.
So you're standing there looking at someone shooting you in the face and you're like, what the fuck? And it's like, oh, because they're on the other team, but they're wearing your skin. So I'm Ghost and I was just shot by Ghost because he knows he's not on my team, but he looks like he's on my team and I don't know he's not on my team.
Yep.
That would have been a really good bug to have fixed when the game first came out.
That would have been nice.
It'd be great if it wasn't still fucking happening.
True.
But yes, no, I'm just like, fuck all. Like, I'm seriously just, I don't know why Activision want to hate everything they make so much. But, like, it brings up something that I have said over and over again, especially if you've been watching the Spyro series. I really want Spyro 4. I'm pretty sure Activision still hold the rights to Spyro.
Oh.
I don't want a Spyro 4 made by current Activision.
No.
But, there is always hope. Microsoft has bought them. Microsoft are known for, kind of being like, hey, make this old popular game.
Yeah.
So hope maybe we will see a Spyro. Maybe it'll be made by people who actually care and not people who are just after money.
Yeah.
And as I say, like, I know Microsoft is a big company. It's just after money too, hence why it bought Activision for $70 billion. They wouldn't have done that if they were like, this company is only worth $10 billion.
True.
That'd be ridiculous. But Microsoft at least do seem to care a little bit about making people's gameplay the best it can be. I know people might point out a lot of games and say, oh, this game was shit. And it's like, yeah, but that was when Microsoft were kind of sitting back saying, you guys do whatever you want. Here's your money, off you go, on the back. And I think they kind of learned after Redfall that they need to get their thumbs in a few more pies and make sure the games are actually developing on track and, being what they want them to be. But, yeah, I don't know. Right now, I just feel like as a company, the people that I kind of want making games are Sony and Microsoft because they are trying to sell systems with the games, and that means that they're trying to make the games as best as they can. Whereas, like, all of these third-party ones are just like, yeah, once we sell the game, we don't fucking care if it's a piece of shit. Yeah. We just need to get that initial sale.
It's true.
And it's been a worrying trend in the video game industry. Like, such a worrying trend. Where we've seen games that are just coming out subpar, and then the company's like, we don't really care, we got the initial sale. And very rarely do we ever get game companies that are like, no, we're sorry, we're going to fix this. As we always bring up, the classic example is Hello Games and No Man's Sky. Yeah. Good guys, did the right thing, absolutely brilliant for them. The opposite side of that is EA and Anthem, where that was literally shot about 3 weeks after it came out. Yeah, we killed it.
Don't get me wrong, those servers are still up, but
it's dead. Yeah, their 10-year plan is gone.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got the likes of
they screwed up royally with that.
Well, I don't know how much anyone. I know Kris paid absolutely no attention, but do you know who said the funniest thing? Like, the funniest thing out of the whole Microsoft buying Activision? The head of PlayStation.
Yep.
Who recently bought Bungie for quite, like, I think that was like $7 billion.
Okay.
So, peanuts compared to what Microsoft was spending, but that's the difference between the two companies. Microsoft is a behemoth.
True.
Activision is, well, they're nice. Sony is, they're a respectable company. They got some stuff, they got a nice building. I don't know if that's true, but they were like, we can't possibly compete with Call of Duty. We wouldn't even know how to make a first-person shooter. And everyone was just like, You guys just bought the guys who made Halo and Destiny.
Yep.
They're like, no, they don't know what they're doing. And I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like there is probably a Destiny 3 on the horizon somewhere.
Oh, more than likely. I doubt there will.
Which is, I find hilariously funny because Bungie really hate getting stuck down in one thing, which is why they originally left Microsoft.
Okay, yeah.
Because they really got sick and tired of only doing Halo.
True.
Even though Microsoft were like, no, but this is what you do.
Yeah.
And so then they went, you know what, we'll fucking switch it up on them. We'll make Destiny. And then they got into bed with Activision for Destiny. And then Destiny were like, Activision were like, no, you only make Destiny.
Yeah.
But also make it more money grubbing, please.
Pretty much.
And so now they're in bed with PlayStation, and it's like, they've got plans to do like to totally switch it up. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna see Destiny 3, aren't we? Because PlayStation gonna be like, make us a first person shooter.
Oh, of course they will. Of course they're gonna say make us a first person shooter.
And the people at Bungie are gonna be like, fucking, we don't want to.
We want to make something else, please.
We want to leave. Fucking, we're gonna go. But I don't know. Who's the next one to buy them? Probably. Who's a big company?
Fuck, I don't know.
Oh no. Who's a big Sega? They're gonna get bought by Sega. Atari's got to come in, swoop in, and get them, and then they're gonna be like,
damn.
"Can you make the new first-person Atari shooter?" And they're gonna be like, "We don't fucking, we'll be here for a while, but then we're gonna fucking leave." And I don't think
Nintendo, the first Zelda first-person shooter.
Yeah. Could you imagine Nintendo buying Bungie? Because Bungie would be so excited about it. They'd be like, "Yes, finally, we're gonna be allowed to do something that isn't first-person shooter." And like the Nintendo goes like, "Okay, so you gotta make our first-person shooter. Here's our plan. All of our Nintendo characters in a first-person shooter verse."
Yeah.
And it's like, and Bungie would just be like, "Fuck,
we're done with this shit."
But no, it is.
There's a way for them to stop doing it. We're shutting down.
But it is just one of the funniest things because like, there's the whole thing where they're like, "Oh no, we really wanted to do something else, but they wouldn't let us. They'd only let us work on Halo." And then it's like, so we went to Activision. It's like, they made. It's like they always planned to make Destiny.
Yeah.
There was like Destiny stuff in the last Halo game they made, and so stuff like Destiny Awaits and all that kind of stuff. But then they were like planning on making Destiny, and like because when they were making Destiny, that was in the era of once the game's out, you put a tiny team to like make. To keep it up and running and, fix stuff. But then you move on to something new.
Yeah.
And what they ended up, by the time Destiny came out, games as a service were the big thing, and they just spent the next, I think, 10 years just working on Destiny.
Yep.
And they were just like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something. And now they're under fucking, Sony. And it's like, we're finally going to get to do something different. It's like, no. You're going to be making their first-person shooter.
Yes, that's how it's going to go.
And then you're going to get pissed off after them because you're going to be like, we've been working under them for 10 years and we've just made a first-person shooter.
Oh, man.
And then, fuck, it's going to be hilarious. But, what's the other one that I was having? Something else I wanted to laugh about at Destiny's behalf, but I can't remember anymore.
The whole game?
I really don't like Destiny.
I know you don't.
It's just not good.
I don't mind occasionally playing.
The problem is,
I can't play.
The problem is when you look at the people that made it and you went, "This is Bungie," and then you look at the story and you go, "These guys made Halo."
Yeah.
This story sucks. and because it's a looter shooter, and here is the problem, I think, with most games that are looter shooters. Halo has guns,
yes.
right? A set number, a set limit that are each different.
Yeah.
No? You pick up a battle rifle, it's a battle rifle. Destiny is a looter shooter, which means you need different stats because the whole gameplay is getting a new gun, getting a new gun, getting a new gun.
Yes.
But I don't think that did the game any favors because like when that was the whole drive of playing the story, it's like, oh, quickly, take 7 more people off the story development so we can design 7 more guns for the people to pick up.
And some of
and then you like pick up the gun. They pick up the gun. It's like, I got this brand new gun. Bang! Oh, I got this brand new gun.
It's like some of the people who like fight for like why Destiny's a good game or the fun part about the game. Is like a lot of people are like, we don't like it because it just has a ridiculous amount of.
It's a moon joke.
It's got a ridiculous amount of grinding in it, and it's a stupid amount. Like, it is ridiculous.
Don't get me wrong.
And then you get people that are like, yeah, but the grinding's the fun part. Getting on every week, just doing missions so that you can get the better gear. It's like,
sounds like people.
No, that sounds bad.
Sounds like people in the middle of their WoW addictions. Yeah, that's kind of what I hate about Destiny is the grind. It's like, and the grind isn't even good. It's like you get on, you grind for a week, so you have a chance to unlock.
Well, no, it's not even a week. It's like a day or two. And if you play for the entire week, then why? Because you can't get anything.
No, I was thinking about like when Jordan was playing it heavy, and he was like, "No, I'm grinding this week to so I can go and do this new mission to get this new gun." And I was like, "Oh yeah, so is this a good gun?" No, it's worse than everything I got, but I just need this gun.
You wanted all of the guns, yeah.
It's like, so you're spending all of your off time this week because you work a job,
yes,
grinding in a game, so that you can get to a point where you can do a mission and get something worse than stuff you already have. That sounds shit.
Oh,
but like, again, like, you can't really judge them because that was kind of like the whole thing with World of Warcraft. If you were a hardcore grinding player, like you wanted to be top of the server, top first in the world, whatever, that's how you played WoW. But I will say, like, WoW did have the social element that a lot of people who were big on the game enjoyed even more, and like working in teams and stuff. And Destiny has nothing like that.
No.
Like, the fact that WoW ended up with its own, like, economy in-game, and, like, if you wanted to make a massive multiplayer kind of game, you kind of have to look at WoW in its heyday and be like, okay, so this is what they were doing. This is, there was a player-based economy because of the auction houses and stuff, and, like, players like earning and trading gold money and all of that. And then you look at what Destiny did, where I was like, so what's going to happen is there is going to be no player trading. You can't trade things between players. There's going to be none of this. There's going to be none of that. There's
which is the
if you get something, you can only trade it in with the store. That's going to give you peanuts on the dime for it.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. It's like, oh, I did this really hard mission and unlocked something shit that I don't really want. Oh, well, I'll take it and sell it. At least then I'll be able to have money to get what I really want. Oh, I got 1,000 for this thing that took
1,000 for this thing. Oh, wait, I can't buy what I really want? Oh.
Not only that, I got 1,000 for it. What can I buy for that? Oh, I just sold a purple thing and I can't even afford the white thing that...
Yeah.
The white thing that's the same slot. That's pretty shit. Yep. Whereas if there was a player-based economy, then you could definitely trade. People would be like, oh... And there would be a reason for you to get drops that aren't your equipment.
Yes.
Whereas it's like...
Whereas in this one, it's like you cannot get drops that are not your equipment.
Yeah, it's like you get a drop that wasn't your piece of equipment and you could be like, oh, well, you know what? I have Warlock helmet that I don't want because I don't play Warlock. Instead of like fucking, oh yeah, okay, well I guess I didn't get anything. You'd be like, oh, I got a Warlock piece. Okay, what am I going to do with this Warlock piece? Well, I can start playing a Warlock and replay the same shitty story, or I can trade it for a Warlock to get something better or something, whatever. And it's like you could build up. That's how you build a player-based economy. But
you can trade it for the equivalent for you, Titan.
Or if they're like, oh, I don't have any Titan stuff, but I have this really cool weapon. It's like, okay, well, then I'll trade you the weapon for this. It's like, oh, but I really like this weapon. It's like, yeah, but I have this piece of equipment you really want. You could have it now, or you could spend another fucking month grinding. It's like, oh, okay, I'll make a trade with you. You have that player-based economy. And people go like, oh, yeah, but then you've got like the players that go like, oh, I made this trade and I shouldn't have, and now I can never get my stuff back because then I'm going to take this piece for what I traded them. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the point.
How it goes.
You know? It's a video game. None of this stuff is real.
No.
It's just...
You did spend a lot of time on it, but... It's what happens.
But yeah. Otherwise, you just end up with a world where it's like, oh, I've got to get this new gun. Why? So I can put it in my vault and say I have it. Great. So I really dislike Destiny just based on what it is. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I can't remember who. It was when Microsoft bought Bethesda.
Yes.
Everyone went, "Oh, Sony's got to buy Rockstar now," and Sony went, "Yeah, dudes, we can't afford Rockstar. We just bought fucking Bungie. That sapped us dry, man." Fucking Rockstar. What have they done recently? Nothing.
They're working on the new GTA.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
what do we think the new GTA is going to be like?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like that. I'm like, my mind says if it's almost, well, my mind says, I don't know. Did you ever see like the leak stuff?
Oh, a tiny bit of it.
I saw a piece of leak stuff and I went, oh god, that looks like Los Santos. It looks like a specific point in Los Santos that I've seen a heap of times, and I went, oh god, I really hope they're not putting it in Los Santos again. I hope they're not just like upping the map of that we currently have. I'm like, no, please don't do that. Please. Please put it in another place with a new map, and then add that map to GTA Online, and then you can go between the two in GTA Online.
That'd be good.
That'd be fucking sweet. So you can actually travel to other cities and have other things going on, and not just always be in the same place. A reason to use that big airport that's in Los Santos. But yeah, no, I was just like,
other than being a war ground, it's what it ends up being.
Well, you can also go to the island from it, which is would be better if there was more to do on the island. But
true.
But yeah, I just kind of like go like, my ideal idea for like Grand Theft Auto Online would be like to at least have the 3 big zones. So like Los Santos, Liberty City,
yes,
and I can't remember what they call Miami, but it's in Vice.
Did they change the name and not just Vice City?
Oh, it is Vice.
It's just like, what are you talking about? The game's called Vice City.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. I would really love to see just those 3, and you can like switch between them, and then like they have like different stuff in them. So it's like, oh, I've got this stuff happening in Vice City. What I'd really love as well is like that, if you remember from San Andreas, they had like the Las Vegas area in the north of that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that come back. And like, you know how they put the casino into...
Yeah.
And it's like, the casino's fun. What I'd really love is to see like, I can't even remember what the strip was called. But, because it was its own little Last something or something. I can't remember. I haven't played San Andreas in a long time, especially since the definitive edition's come. But I'd love to see that brought back into online. And I would love to see like, so the 3 main cities, you can travel between them. Each of them is like different. So it's like Los Santos is like what we currently have. Liberty City is, you know, all about the penthouses, high-rise mafiosos and all that kind of stuff. So you go there and you're working with the mafiosos, and the missions and all the story stuff is like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Vice City. Thank you, Kris.
You're welcome. You were almost there.
Honestly, I only ever played that game twice.
As did I.
I didn't really spend
maybe like 4 times on.
I didn't really spend a lot of time. The only reason I know Liberty City is because of Grand Theft Auto 4.
There's also a game called Liberty City Stories.
Well, that was part of Grand Theft Auto 4, wasn't it?
I think so, but if you had a PSP, it was just that. I'm pretty sure.
Well, there you go. But yeah, so Grand Theft Auto 4, we spent a lot of time in Liberty City. And that's why I know it, not because of Grand Theft Auto 3. I didn't play Grand Theft Auto 3.
I didn't either.
But yeah, I'd love to see like, and like just the differences. So you've like got like the more New Yorky, grey, cloudy, wintry kind of Liberty City. Then you go down to Vice City and it's like lots of drug dealing and all of that kind of stuff, and cartels and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got like back into Los Santos where it's more, you know, more of what it, like the mix of the two, but like the other two are more focused on their sector of it. And then just smack bang in the middle, you go to the Vegas part of it.
Yes.
Land in the airport. It's just surrounded by a desert.
That would be good. It would be good.
That's how you stop people going too far. Just a desert full of fucking rocket launching clowns.
So if you go
Yes.
out too far, you get blown up by rocket launching clouds.
That'd be fucking great.
And you can have a stand up against. They are going to win because there's billions of.
Just
Avoid them.
and make sure it comes up on the screen to say that they got killed by a clown. It's no other way to do it.
Exactly. But then you go there and it's like you get to do like the whole like casinos fighting casinos, and you can align yourself with other casinos against other players and try and like doing like all the casino hustling shit.
That'd be good. That would be good.
Like running security for security for casinos and being like other people are trying to rob them and you can actually stop them. Like I would love to see that kind of stuff.
That'd be good.
Eventually in Grand Theft Auto Online.
I think it's unlikely.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, but it'd be fun.
But like I reckon Grand Theft Auto Online has the player versus player mentality already. You get into a standard lobby and it's like, okay, which of these fuckers am I killing? Yeah. All you need to do is just, get a little bit of team allegiance going by having this like, oh, when you go to this place, you can change which casino you're aligned with, right? If you suddenly decide, you know what, I don't like this casino anymore, I want to go work at this casino, but like once you're there and like doing stuff earns your casino like ranking, and then you've already got the player versus player mentality, and now you've just got a reason for people to team up.
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
Yo, this guy from this other casino wrecked one of our boys and stole a bunch of money off him, and now their casino is looking pretty good. He was supposed to be bringing that money back to our casino, but now our casino's looking like shit.
Yeah.
So we gather a little posse together, we go out there, and we fucking rob their casino.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like the ultimate. I think that would be like the ultimate goal. Like, Grand Theft Auto Online already has the player versus player mentality. You get into it and you're just like, I fucking hate these guys and fuck their day up. That's what you're there for.
Oh yeah.
We just need some ways, and that's like where the Liberty City one could be really cool because you could just become different mobs.
Ooh, that is true. That is true.
And like battle for control of the city and stuff in servers and stuff, and be like, oh yeah, this mob has control at the moment. It's like, oh okay, well I've aligned myself with this other mob, so I guess I gotta go and wrestle control of them. And yeah, that'd be fucking sweet. Like there would be people complaining because they'd be like, oh, my mob has no power. Oh, it sucks. Oh,
get better.
It's like, well, you can always change to the mob that has all the power, or you can just take the power. And I think there would be a lot of people out there who fucking just like the challenge. So like they'd be in the strongest mob and be like, now time to go to the lowest mob, and then they would murder all of their old allies and just be like, motherfuckers.
That would be fun.
Yeah, but that's what I think. I think that's the big thing that Grand Theft Auto Online is missing. Just that pinpointed accuracy to make you want to kill other players. More than just like, oh, well, I guess he's flying around in an oppressor and that makes him a dick. So I'm going to fucking kill him. More like being like, well, he's flying around in an oppressor. Though he is my friend. We're on the same team. So he may be a dick, but he's a friendly dick. But this motherfucker who's just walking on the street, he's against us. So I'm going to team up with the oppressor dick and we're going to fuck his day over. And this guy's just like, hey guys, I just got him. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, we own this street. And then like a few other guys are like, well, we don't even know that guy, but he represents us. He's on our side. So now we're starting a fucking gang war. And then you start a gang war. And then it's like,
it'd be fun. It would be.
And then like, other people online in other parts, like people in Los Santos, just like get the message, yo, there's currently a gang war going on in fucking Liberty City. Your team's fucking losing. Get there and back them up. And it's like, oh fuck, and everyone's just run to the airport and they're like, I should probably shoot that guy because I don't know if he's on my team, but he's running to the airport and I'm running to the airport. He's obviously going to Liberty City.
Yep.
But what if he is on my team? I need the backup.
Oh.
You know what? Fuck it. I won't take the risk. Bang! Missiles for everyone.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun.
That would be my ultimate take on Grand Theft Auto Online. Okay. To turn it into just a giant online world. Where it's like, it is all the major cities connected. And there's stuff happening in all of them. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kris, I think that just about does us here.
I think so.
Yeah, we've been going for some time.
We have.
We've said a lot of stuff.
Always.
We shat on the new Call of Duty.
We did.
That's my favourite pastime.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about how Grand Theft Auto could be so much better than it is.
So much better.
It's Chris's favourite pastime. No, I lie. His favourite pastime is shitting on Destiny.
It is.
But we can all agree that Halo is great.
It's pretty good.
Well, that wraps us up. As always, thank you for joining us. If you like the video, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. We really do appreciate it. If you want to stay tuned to the channel, there will be an update about when I launched that Patreon stuff. As I said, still haven't really decided on supporters, so if it is there, it might be free. So if you really want to check it out, check it out. It shouldn't cost you anything. And other than that, I've been Darcy, he's been Kris. We'll catch you later.
See ya.
Bye. It's kind of more like playing like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's kind of like, yeah, you're a nerd, but are you a board gamer? You can definitely play board games because you've got the pernicketiness to adapt to their instructions.
That is true.
Which is where most people fail because they're like, wait, what? Like, the difference between a board game and a not board game is the a video game, if you will, even. If you will, even, he says. The difference between a board game and a video game is that a video game does all the stuff you need to do in a board game behind the scenes without you ever having to touch it.
That is true.
Hence why you can turn most video games into board games. It's just you need to be the one doing all the background mechanics.
Yes. That's why Dark Souls has its own board game.
Well, actually, there's a lot of games that have their own board games. Sniper Elite has its own board game.
You've got to half create your own story for Dark Souls.
That's just because they've refused to tell you the actual story concisely. It's a bad day to do all that.